Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's EURJPY Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. The market has been trending for the last 6 weeks. There's been a lot of trade setups that we've had. This week as well, we're going to have a trade setup. We're going to have a couple of trade setups actually. So if you're interested or if you want to follow the trade setups, we will be posting them on our social media platforms. I'll show you in a bit where to follow us and the exact link to follow us on the social media platforms. There is a number of setups. The market is still on a trend, and that's what we like to see. All right, so let's get right into it. If you'd like to contact us, check out on the description of all our videos. I'm going to share my screen now. Description of all our videos on YouTube. If you just go to my channel, this is my channel on YouTube, go to my channel, open any video, you will find the details of our social media platforms. This is very important, guys. If you want our charts, all the charts that we focused before and after, we post them up on our social media platforms. Obviously, we don't post everything, but things like the chart of the week, we're going to have one this week. There's a couple of high probable setups that you need to follow. Look out for the CHF pairs and the yen pairs for this week. Right, so if you'd like to follow us on the social media platforms, check out our TradingView link there. That's where you can follow us. We'll post charts there every now and then. Our website is EURJPY.com. You click on the exact link, it will take you to this page here. That is our website, so you can check out the website there. So you will also receive the trade setup via email if you have signed up onto our website as well. Right, so that is on the website. So either that or you can find the trade setup on our Twitter page. Follow us on Twitter, then check out our page on Twitter as well as our Facebook page. There has been we've posted actually the wrong Facebook page for the last couple of weeks. We've noted that mistake, but you'll find the correct link on this video into our page. So many charts that we shared there on our Facebook page. Right, so also look out for the timestamps. I know not everybody is looking to trade all these pairs or looking to watch all these pairs, so you can just go to the specific pairs that you're interested in and it will take you directly to the pair that you're interested in if you click on the link. So you'll also find the information about the next course. We're currently running our course. We are going into the second week of our course. It's going very well. The course ends on the 13th of August. So the next course after this is going to be in October. We'll confirm the exact dates, but if you want to take the course right away, you can get it on our website. It is available immediately. It is recorded. So this current one is a live course. So what we do is, if you've been watching the course, when the live course starts, then you've got you already have a background and you can actually engage. So we spent 10 days during that course where you can ask any questions that that you'd like. All right, so that's what we're going to be looking at in the next coming course, October. We're going to look now at our trade setups, what we've been busy with in the week. So let's check that out. Let's check out what we've been busy with in the week. I'm going to go into our Slack channel here. Let's go for it. Right. Just 1 second. So that's our Slack, and we'll be looking at the trade setups for the last week. Right, so let's start with Ripple. So last week I didn't show you the Ripple setup because that is covered in our Crypto Corner webinar. You can check out the Crypto Corner webinar. We don't do the cryptocurrencies on this webinar anymore. Check out the next Crypto Corner video immediately after this. So we had a setup on Ripple, just a bit of a recap on this one. We had a setup on Ripple before the move to the upside went up, started. This is how Ripple played out. So that was Ripple. We caught the move right at the bottom. That's how we got Ripple. For the rest of the cryptocurrency setups, I'll look out for the next crypto webinar. Now, this is from last week. This is Euro Yen. Euro Yen, we had a nice trade setup here. Textbook stuff has played out inch perfect, has hit the target. painless trade really. That is how this one has gone up to hit the target, and it is now pulling back. We'll do an update on what we expect the next move to be. So this is one of those painless trade textbook setups. CHFJPY, similar setup as a Euro Yen. As you can see, this was our trade setup. This is our entry, and this was our stop, and you will see how this one has played out. We actually discussed this one last week, because initially when this started played out, it looked like it was going to make a three-wave move and it was going to come down. So, but because the indicator showed us that this was the entry, we stayed with the trade, and that is what most people have a challenge with, to get into entries and to hold on to winning trades. We quickly close the trades that are eventually going to play out prematurely, and that is what is causing a lot of people to lose money. Right, so that is CHF Yen, Euro, Pound US Dollar. So Pound US Dollar, this is a trade setup that we had on Pound US Dollar. We expected it to continue to the upside. As it is now, that move has not gone all the way. It made a move to the upside here, just around this level, has now pulled back around this level. So what we are focusing as a wave 4 here may actually still be a wave 4, but a flat wave 4 before a push to the upside. So there's a difference between forecasting and trading. So this is trading, and this is how you manage the trades, right? So this may be a losing trade if it does come and hit our stop before pushing to the upside, but because we have our entry, we'll stay with the trade until it plays out or it hits stop, right? So that is trading, and that is how you manage the trades, right? So some of the trades, this is how Pound US Dollar has played out. Pushed up higher as expected, but did not go all the way. It's coming down here. We'll be expecting it to pull back and continue to the upside. That is Pound US Dollar. Right, we also had a Euro Pound setup. So Euro Pound, we expected it to go all the way. Not all trade setups play out, guys. So we expected this one to go all the way to the downside, but it just dropped slightly here, and it is now looking like a move to the upside. So the view on Euro Pound is going to change. So that is a failed trade. So I need to show you all the trades so that you can see that there's no magic. There's just practical trading, and we trade what we see, and we execute as the strategy tells us. So this is how Euro Pound has played out. It is now pushing up to the upside here. Now we'll be looking for a move to the upside. That trade to the downside has been invalidated. Right, now this is AUDCHF. AUDCHF is a very interesting one. You'll see where we got this trade from. I'll show you the forecast. There's a difference between trading and forecasting, and I need to emphasize this while we're going through this webinar. Check out the difference when we say we are forecasting and when we say we are taking the trade. This is a trade. What you see here is what our members get: an entry and an exit. Exit as far as the stop loss is concerned, as far as the take profit is concerned. So we're looking for this one to enter. We're looking to enter into this one to the downside, but this is not where we got the trade. The trade, the forecast was from here. We were forecasting that we're going to come from here. We're going to go into the blue box, and we're going to come down to around this level. Now let me show you. Let me see if I can show you that one quickly, so you can see how we do that. Let's go right into it. That was actually AUDCHF. So let's go through them one by one in the order that I've listed them. Okay, let's go through them in the order that you've listed them, then you will see the difference that I'm talking about. I think towards the end, I'll show you exactly how this is playing out. So this is AUDCAD. This is where we forecasted upside to the blue box. Now it's coming down, and that is a trade setup. It is now still a trade setup. This may be the trade of the week. You need to watch out for this one in the next week. Watch out for this. This may be a trade of the week. You need to look out for it to get around this level, possibly even break lower. That is how it is setting up. Has not played out as yet, so you may be lucky and get a free trade setup here. Right, so this is US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, this is a forecast to the downside, has now come down to this level. We've got a bit of a bounce here before that downside. We'll do an update as to what we expect US dollar CAD will be doing in the next coming week. So we've dropped already around this level, and we've now pulled back. So that may be the reversal that we're looking at. So the indicator will show us whether this is actually the reversal or just a pullback on US dollar CAD. Right, AUDCHF. So this is what I wanted to show you on AUDCHF, that we didn't just get that move, the trade setup that is currently here. This is a forecast. We're showing that this is going to come right into this level and it's going to come down. That is forecasting. We're not necessarily trading this, but what we want is the bigger moves. We trade the bigger moves. So if you like, and if you're in the group and you've learned the theory, you understand it, you can actually trade these short moves as well, depending on your trading style. There are short-term traders, there are scalpers, there are day traders. So day traders may want to trade this as well because they want to always have trades. But for swing traders like us or like myself, we're looking for the big moves here. So let's look at how this one has played out. That is it. That is where we were. That is a move to the upside. This is coming down. Now, what you're seeing here is still the forecast. What I've shown you earlier on is the trade setup where I'm showing you the entry and where we are going to exit. I don't show entries and exit here because I'm not giving financial advice during these webinars. We do that with our members. All right, so this is AUDCHF. Let's have a look at the next one. Now, this is EURNZD. Look at the magic on EURNZD. This is on the 4-hour. Actually the 60-minute. This was on the 4th of July. We forecasted that this was gonna make a move to the upside. Check where EURNZD is right now. So EURNZD has played out as expected. That is that move that we expected to make a push to the upside. Now, is this going to come down? Now, this is still the forecast. Needs to be confirmed by the indicator. If the indicator does not show accordingly, we're not going to trade that move to the downside. So we got the move to the upside. We'll be looking to see if we're going to have continuation to the upside. It looks like as far as the indicators are concerned, we're seeing continuation to the upside. Now, this is CADCHF. Now, CADCHF is also one of those that we got from here, expecting a move to the upside and a move to the downside. Let's just go down to it again. Right, so this is CADCHF. I actually skipped this. So this is what you're seeing here on CADCHF, a move up. The forecast is for this to push up higher. How do we know that this is going to make a move and turn exactly here? That is because wave theory shows us how to trade this, and the indicator tells us when to execute. Right, so look at CADCHF. That is how CADCHF has played out. Okay, that is the forecast, was a move to the upside and a move to the downside. Look at this. Now, the update on for members after that move has played out, that is how that is eventually played out. So now you can see we knew that it was going to come up to this level. We knew that it was going to come down. There was actually a trade setup here as well. If you've seen the ABC move that I showed you earlier on, there was a trade setup for a downside here. We are still expecting this to continue lower in the next coming sessions. Right, so that is how we trade. So let me just show you once again this magic on this one. This is the trade setup on the 12th of July. Right, that is almost 4 weeks ago. We had a trade setup for a upside and then downside. Let me just take off my screen here. I'm trying to show you the chart. Right, so we had a trade setup for upside and then downside. It makes a move to the upside as expected, and then it comes down. And that is how this one has played out. Now, in the next coming we're going to be looking at the focus for the week, and this looks like it's still going to be a setup for downside. Now let's go right into the pairs for this week and see how the pairs are looking up. Right, so we're going to start with the US dollar pairs. Let's start with the DXY, and I'm going to be referring to the website, our website on this. Some of the charts on our website, just to give you an idea what our members see on the website and how we trade. Right, so members have got access to all these links. That is the US dollar pairs that we're going to look at first. We're going to look at the DXY first. Let's start with the DXY before the euro. So this is the DXY on the 4-hour. So the DXY on the 4-hour, what we were looking at was just these pullbacks. We're looking for these pullbacks on both the DXY and the euro. Changed my screen here. I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. Here. Let's show you the screen. Okay, you're seeing my chart right now, eh? Right, so let's have a look. Let's get off the Slack here. So I want to show you the DXY. Let's have a look here. Can you see the chart now? You can see the chart, right? Right, so let's go for it. This is on the website now, on the members area. We go on under more and under US dollar pairs. That's where you get all these charts. Right, so let's start with the DXY 4 hour. So the DXY on the 4 hour. So on the US dollar pairs, it has just mostly been the pullback. So we're looking at this one as the pullback. This is the pullback that we're looking at. All right, so this is the pullback that we're looking at. Right, so just the pullback here and continuation to the downside. We've got this one. Let's just have a look at the current chart on the DXY. As you can see, this is how this has played out. This move that you see currently happening is the pullback that we're expecting now. The question is whether this is the overall reversal or just the pullback that's going to make a flat correction here. So we will decide when we get to this level, as you've seen the forecast. So that is what we're looking at. So when we get to this level, we update the charts and determine whether this actually makes a deeper pullback or whether this is just a flat correction that will continue to the downside. The indicator will show us whether that pullback is the reversal or not. As it is now, we're not picking the bottom. We don't pick the tops and bottoms. So we're just gonna wait for that confirmation. Let's see how that plays out. Let's look also at Euro US dollar. Similar pullback. The Euro US dollar will just be the inverse of what the dollar index is doing. As you can see, we also expected that this one is going to pull back. These are not necessarily trades, guys. We're just focusing these corrective structures. What we want is to trade after the corrections. That is the skill that we've got. We master the corrections so that we can get the pulsing moves. Right, so we've got that. Let's see what this looks like on the side. On the Euro, we've got that pullback. As you can see, it's playing out. Just like the DXY, this one is pulling to the downside because that's the inverse of the DXY. So you may get here a setup for entry to the downside. You need to be careful when you get to this level because this may just be a continuation pattern to the upside. So when we get to this level, we'll be able to decide whether this is actually the end of the move or we're still gonna have one more up. Okay, so let's give it a bit more time. We get to this level, then at this level, we'll make a decision. Whether if we get a buy setup here, the indicator will show us there's still continuation to the upside. I will not be picking the top here because as far as the indicators are concerned, we're still seeing strength to the upside on Euro US dollar and weakness on the US dollar pair itself. Right, so let's look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar similarly on the website. If we go to pound US dollar, it's also one of the listed charts as well. So on pound US dollar, I showed you the trade setup here. I showed you the trade setup for upside. This is a forecast. Now let's look at how this is playing out and how we update the forecast. Pound US dollar. This was last week's trade. If you check out the last week's video or on our social media pages, you can check out the 180 free trade on pound US dollar. So this was the forecast on pound US dollar. We're expecting this one to continue to the upside. Does this mean the forecast did not play out? Not at all. So what this means is that this can just be a three-wave pullback, 3 down, 3 up, and possibly 5 down before continuation to the upside, and you get a flat correction and then upside. What most people will have a challenge with is getting the trade to the upside or getting the trade to the downside when it triggers. Okay, so let's wait for more data to see what we get here. We need to at least get to this level before pushing any further higher. Right, US dollar CHF will be similar to the DXYs. Back to the website. Let's have a look at US dollar CHF on the 4 hour. You can see that what the US dollar pairs have been doing. They've just been pulling back. So if you remember, you always on the right side of the market because we update this on a daily basis. You can see that is pound US dollar pullbacks. Now, is this the reversal? Now, pound or US dollar CHF is actually looking more downside. Now, all the pairs that have got a CHF currency as the quoted, all the pairs that have got the CHF as the quoted currency are looking downside in this week. So look out for them. So if your CHF, if pairs like US dollar CHF, Euro CHF, pound CHF, they're looking downside for the next week. So look out for those. They may be a very good chart of the week there. Now this is US dollar CHF. As much as we can see the pulsing move on US dollar CHF, this may be a continuation move to the downside. The indicator is not showing us a reversal, so look out for the continuation to the downside. So even if this one continues to the upside, you may just be getting a flat here. So we will get a trigger, we'll wait for the trigger for a continuation to the downside. It looks likely that this will continue to the downside. Now, US dollar CAD, let's go to the website here again. I closed it accidentally. Let's get this chart back on. Right, US dollar CAD on the 4 hour. Now, US dollar CAD on the 4 hour, you can see that this is the focus that I showed you earlier during trade setups. This one has come down around this level. It has now pushed up to the upside. Now, there are two things that we'll be looking at here. Whether this is the actual structure that we're looking at, whether this is going to make a running flat. We've got a pulsing move to the upside now. We may get a short move to the upside that can make a running flat and still continue lower. For us to confirm the reversal, this current pulsing move here has to give us an entry for upside. Okay, but that upside may be short-lived and we get a flat correction like that. So let's go back to the current chart and update. So this is what we have on Euro US dollar CAD. We could be forming this structure here. We've got a pulsing move there. Is the structure going to reverse? We cannot confirm that yet. So let's wait for this to at least give us a three-wave move here. Whether this three-wave move reverses here, it doesn't really matter. If it reverses that there, you're gonna have a running flat. If it pushes up higher and reverses here, you're gonna have a regular flat. So all you want is a confirmation for downside when this is complete. All we know is this can actually turn from current levels and continue lower because there isn't much strength on the US dollar, even though we've seen some pulsing move or some pullbacks currently. So we'll wait for those confirmations. Let's look now at AUD US dollar. AUD US dollar, we focused that this was going to pull back and continue to the upside. So far, we're only getting a bit of a pullback. So this is the structure that we had here, 1, 2, 3 on the 1 hour. We're looking for this one here. We're actually looking for this one to pull back here and continue higher. So far, it has not continued to the upside. It just made this move here, and it's looking like this. So this could be a whole corrective structure. It can go sideways. So the move to the downside may be the short-term strength that you will see on the US dollar and eventually push up higher again. As it is now, there's no confirmation for a reversal on AUD US dollar just yet. So AUD US dollar just the same as New Zealand US dollar. Let's look at the 4 hour. We're looking for those pullbacks and continuation to the upside. Let's have a look on New Zealand US dollar. So New Zealand US dollar. So it looks like there's weakness on the New Zealand in the coming session. So look out for an entry for downside. So it looks like the New Zealand is going to make a move to the downside. So this was a move here. This was a three-wave move to the upside here. Looks like we're going to have at least a move back around these levels here. So watch out for New Zealand to come down to this level. Right, so that is a New Zealand US dollar. So those pullbacks may continue in the coming session. Just be careful. These pullbacks that we're looking at, as much as it looks like there's an entry here, this may be a continuation pattern for one more up. Right, so you need to get that confirmation for downside on a pair like this. US dollar ZAR pushing up higher. If you remember, we have been looking for this structure, but in the last 2 weeks we know that there's a very likelihood that this structure will not play out. So we are currently at that level where we expected this to reverse. We may see a continuation pattern here and go retest the all-time highs on US dollar ZAR. That's because I've shown this last time, pound ZAR and euro ZAR have already invalidated this structure. Let me show you. Let's look at pound ZAR and euro ZAR. Pound ZAR, a similar structure that we could have looked at on US dollar ZAR has already been invalidated. So look out for US dollar ZAR to continue and follow what pound ZAR has done. So pound ZAR is very close to all-time highs. Very close to all-time highs on US dollar ZAR, and it's going with an impulse. So that we're likely going to see new all-time highs on the ZAR pair, where the ZAR is the quoted pair. That is pound ZAR Similarly, on EUROZAR, you'll see that we're very close to the all-time high. So I'm expecting that US dollar ZAR will do the same. This one is actually at all-time highs versus the ZAR. EUROZAR is at all-time highs right now. This will likely push up higher, and it's going with an impulse. This is wave 3 here. Any pullback here will be a wave 4 and will be going all the way. Unfortunately, that is bad news for the South African rand as far as this is concerned. So the reason why US dollar ZAR has not really moved or has been lagging is obviously because there's weakness in the US dollar, and there's also weakness in the ZAR. That is why this one looks like it's going pretty much sideways, but it will eventually follow that because that is just lagging. Right, let's go into the yen pairs. Let's go to the yen pairs. Yen pairs. Pound yen, I'm only looking at the 4-hour charts. So pound yen, we expected this one to push slightly to the upside and then pull back. Currently, we've just got we actually just started correcting at current levels. So this correction may be happening at current levels. So let's have a look at the current chart on pound yen. Okay, so the corrective structure has already started, and this corrective structure may just continue to the upside. This is a continuation pattern to the upside. What this looks like a diagonal 1, 2, and we may be going for an impulse to the upside on pound yen. So look out for this structure on pound yen for upside. US dollar yen. US dollar yen, let's go back to the chart so you can see the forecast here. So we have been looking at this one for the last couple of days. We saw this one, it made an impulse. I said, wait for a corrective structure. Now the corrective structure has happened, and now we're looking for upside. What has happened? We've now got a candle to the upside here on US dollar yen. So this is how this one is playing out. Can you see the forecast? Already have a trade set up on this one for upside that is triggered. Okay, so that is US dollar yen. Look out for continuation to the upside. What you're seeing here is the old trade that we took from right here. This is the trade that we got on US dollar ZAR. Now we're getting a new trade set up and we'll be looking for upside there. Why are we looking for that structure? US dollar yen is a very good looking structure. Let me just switch off here so you can see only the structure. Currently here, you've got 3 waves to the downside, you've got 3 waves to the upside, and you've got 3 waves to the downside. Is this now time to get the same move to the upside? Look out for this entry here, right? So do not rush this, because for all we know, these can actually go a little bit more sideways and not go from current levels. Our indicator will confirm for us if this is ready to go or not, because what you could have, you see that this has come down in 3 waves. It's putting up, this can pretty much be another 3 waves and come down in 3 waves before it actually goes. So the idea with corrective structure, identify corrective structures, is to be able to understand when they complete so that you can get the move in the prevailing direction of the trend. In this case, are you sure that this is going to go from current levels? This way, people talk about false breakouts and all that. So somebody can say, this is coming down here in another 3 waves, and somebody will, that doesn't trade the wave theory, will say there was a false breakout. We don't believe in such thing as a false breakout. If it didn't break, it means there was no breakout in the first place. So likely this one pulls back for 1 and then goes. If it's going to go from here, the indicator will confirm for us. That is US dollar yen. So it's not just about trading the flags. Flags are too obvious. I mean, any trader who is currently trading, even beginners without experience, know how to trade, know what a flag is. A flag is a continuation pattern, but how many of those are actually making money out of that? Because you don't know when a flag is going to be a continuation pattern or if it's just going to reverse. Right, so this is Euro Yen. Now, Euro Yen, I showed you a trade setup on Euro Yen. From here, that was a trade setup on Euro Yen, our entry here, and hit target straight, and we are now pulling back. So Euro Yen still looks like it's going to be a continuation pattern to the upside in the next coming week as well. Right, so expect continuation pattern to the upside. It's a bit tricky. If you look at Chief Yen, rather, look at Chief Yen now. Now, Chief Yen is showing continuation to the upside. We're seeing continuation to the upside on CHF yen in the next coming week, but how far will that move go? So that will be a bit tricky in the next coming session, because CHF yen is almost reaching what looks like our blue box. So be careful when you are buying that move, because it may not go far, even though we've got that. So this is actually our blue box area. So let's see how this goes. Just switch off here so I can show you the bigger structure on this. Let's see if you can see the daily. So look out for this structure. So from here, we have what looks like a blue box area. Let's see how this plays out. We've got a bigger structure here that dropped in these 3 waves. Now we're starting a move to the upside. This is the bigger move. We dropped in 3 up and 3 down. Current move that is playing out, is this going to be another 1? This is 1, 2, 3. Can this be a 1 up here, a 2 back here? If this is the first move here, the first 3 waves, then it means we still have quite a bit of a move to the upside on CHF. So this case here, if we get an entry here, we are going to take that entry, and that one will go around that level with this 3-wave structure. What structure will we be looking for? So in that case, if it goes in 3 down and 3 up, that means we still see another 3 up before pushing higher. Simple WXY structure on the higher degree. Let's see how this plays out. You could be getting that structure. But for now, we're not concerned about this. We just want to see this one pushing higher. You may be even getting this structure here. Okay, so watch out. If this one keeps continuing to the upside, as long as you don't see any indication of a reversal, you keep buying this. You keep buying this. Just be careful, but because we are very close to the structural level here now. Opening up, closing above this structural level, that means we're going to see further upside on CHF yen. So the strength on the euro, CHF is also correlated to the euro. That's why you'll see strength there as well. Right, let's look at CAD yen. So CAD yen, we've seen this move here. We actually tried to trade this move, 1, 2, 3 to the downside. We expected this one to continue much lower, but now we saw the impulsive move. Looks like we're going to see continuation to the upside. Let's go to the lower time frame. Stay with the 4-hour here. So on the 4-hour, we're going to wait to see if this is going to continue higher. Looks like we've got a flag here for continuation to the upside. What are we looking for? That is the structure that we are looking at. It's a move down, it's a correction, it's a move down. It's a 3-wave structure. Is that the structure that we're looking for? We already have a pulsing move to the upside. Let's see if this is going to be a move like that. So here, watch out. We may not go in a straight line. We may go up here and get this move here. This will be an even better move if we're going to look for upside there, because then that will break out of that structure. And we're not trading trend lines, we're just channeling to see when the structures end. So look out for upside there on CAD yen. AUD yen, the AUD is looking weak for the short term. I'm gonna see this one pulling back here. Let's see this one, we just look for this one to come down around this level. New Zealand yen, now New Zealand yen looks like a very nice trade setup for the downside. Look out for this one to come down around this level. So New Zealand yen, that is what we're looking at. Let's go to New Zealand yen on the 4-hour. You'll see that all these pairs that we're discussing here are listed here. We're just waiting for trade setup. So here's the one here. So forecast, we'll be looking for this one to come down to this level and continue higher. Right, so that is New Zealand yen. Very good looking trade for the next week. Watch out, guys. Track it. Right, so let's go to commodities. Gold. So gold has been our trade of the week. I think in the beginning of July, we were in this corrective structure. Everybody who subscribed or has followed our social media platforms has got this trade set up to the upside up to 1900. That was our forecast. During this week, during our live trading room, we saw this triangle, the triangle with a flat top here. and the continuation to the upside. So gold is still trending to the upside. There is still strength on gold. So any pullback on gold still looks like a continuation to the upside. We have not seen any signs of a reversal yet on gold. Just like last week, I showed you that this was going to continue to the upside, right? So it was going like this. We were here last week and we expected this move. We actually could have looked at this way to come down before coming to the upside. That's what we looked at, but indicator showed us from right here, after making this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triangle, that this was going to push higher, and it is pushing up higher. We're currently looking for this one to pull back. Short-term pullback. It's only a correction. As you can see, it has been pulsing from the beginning of July. It has been on this move, so we need to see a deeper pullback. That is how gold is playing out. Now, is this the end of the move? Doesn't look like it. Looks like we're still going to continue to the upside. Let's see how this plays out. Let's get more data there on gold. Similarly, silver has been rallying together with gold. It looks like silver wants to push up or higher. So the move, the wave 5 here on silver looks like it's still not complete yet. So we're still going to push up on silver. Indicator still showing us upside on silver. Continuation to the upside. Right, Brent crude. Now looking at Brent crude, last couple of weeks we've been showing that this structure is going to continue like that. It's going to push up to the top of the boundary and come down. That's what we've been looking at. And we've been looking at that structure because we were looking at this to be a diagonal. That may not be a diagonal. As much as we got this move, indicator is showing us that this is going to push up higher. It pushes to the upside. We're forecasting downside, but as long as the indicator does not confirm our forecast, we're going to trade with what the indicator is showing us. In this case, it's showing us continuation to the upside. So oil, we're still going to see a bit more upside from here, even if that's going to be an overshoot and come down. But for now, we're looking for a continuation to the upside on oil. Right, so let's go to the pound pairs. If you remember, pound chief has been our trade of the week. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks back when we were here. We were looking for pound chief to drop from here. That has not played out, but does that mean that the forecast has changed? Not at all. So we're still looking at this. It just means that it has made a bigger corrective structure. Are we now going to see pound chief start dropping from this level? Look out for pound chief to drop. As I've said, pairs that have got a chief as the quoted currency are looking downside for the next coming week. So check that out in the next week. Maybe our trade of the week, we'll post it up on our social media platforms if it plays out. This is Pound Audi. Pound Audi is in the middle of nowhere. We just need to see this corrective structure, see how this is playing out. It's really just going sideways. Don't do anything there on Pound Audi as yet. Pound New Zealand also is showing us continuation to the upside. This could be an expanding flat and a continuation pattern to the upside. So check that out for continuation to the upside. It's just going to be going sideways. There is no trade setup as yet. Just keep an eye on that. Pound CAD. Pound CAD looks like it wants to drop. You need to wait for that confirmation. We're seeing a pulsing move back here. Is this a correction? And now we're going to see this one. Even if this drops, doesn't look like it's going to drop quite hard. Looks like we may just get a 3-wave pullback and continuation to the upside. That is Pound CAD. All right. So there is still quite a bit of strength on Pound CAD. So you may see this one do this and continue higher. All right, Pound ZAR, you've already seen Pound ZAR. I've shown you Euro Pound during trade setups. So for the next week, look out for Pound, Euro Pound to push slightly higher. The structure you will be looking for is this one here. We started with an impulse. We make a 3-wave move to the upside, 1, 2, 3. Looks like we are making a deeper correction here. 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves back. Let me do it correct. We move up here. That is a pulsing move up, and this, let me do this in another degree. There's a number of degrees here. This looks like a regular flat here. We've got to move up here. That's the whole corrective structure. Looks like that's the end of the move, and we're going to see this one push higher. That's why we're following that structure like that. But that structure will still be incomplete. If it comes down, if it plays out like that, it will still have to come back down here like that. If we're going to get that red move to continue to the upside, then you're going to have WXY structure. That's long-term focused. Look out for this to push up higher, at least back to this level in the next coming session. EURAUD, you've seen the magic on EURAUD as far as the trade setups are concerned. So look out for a continuation to the upside in the next week. EURAUD. So Audi and New Zealand are looking pretty weak for the next week. Look out for continuation to the upside. Is it going to break up here? If it clears that level, we're going to see further upside. And it's very likely that it will clear that level. We're actually at that level right now. Look out for a continuation to the upside. You need to use your own strategy to determine when this is ready. We have got an indicator that tells us when it is time to pull the trigger. EURCAD, we're seeing a slight pullback on EURCAD, not convincing for a downside, for the downside here yet, but we're looking at this one to continue lower, even if it's at least a move around that level. Reason for that, look at the bigger structure here. We've got to move down here, we've got to move to the upside, got to that level and pulled back. Let's see if this is going to reverse from current levels and retest the lows here. Otherwise, if it doesn't, we're going to see a pullback and it's going to clear this level and we're going to see new recent highs on EURCAD. EURJPY. Now EURJPY, look out for this structure. It's not showing a much here. Look out for this structure. This could be the ending diagonal here. And we'll be looking for this one to the downside. Remember what I said about the chief pairs? We're looking downside mostly in the next week. So we've got that move down. We've got that as a corrective structure. It's an ABC structure with a C that ends with a diagonal. Then we're looking for downside here. Look out for entries to the downside on EURJPY. Euro New Zealand, a bit of a push to the upside before any move lower. Let's look at the crosses. AUDCAD, looks like we've got this short-term move to the downside. It needs to be confirmed. Are we now eventually going to start seeing a pullback to the downside? Very likely, but we need to get that confirmation around that level. AUDCHF, already showed you how this one is setting up. Again, another chief pair that is looking downside. Do not just go and sell all the chief pairs. Wait for that confirmation or use your own strategy to enter. We've got a strategy. Textbook data, we've got a strategy that pinpoints for us when to pull the trigger as far as a trade like this is concerned. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at this as a move to the upside. Let's just do this. We started with the move down here. We've got 1, 2, 3 here. Looks like that's the move that we've got. And we're looking for this one to now continue to the downside. That is the structure that we're looking for. There's another alternative here, but that will be determined by the indicator. Another alternative is this. It's a move down in 3 waves, a move up in 3 waves, and an impulse here. And if that is the case, that means we've got this as a pulsing move. This is a whole correction. This one would have pushed to the upside, but this structure is not confirming as such. It's showing us downside. So that means you see how the indicator eliminates the alternative. This could have been the move here. So that move is eliminated by the indicator. Right, so we're seeing continuation to the downside. So that means the structure that should be valid is this one. 1, 2, 3. Now downside. That's why you even have a trade set up here for downside. All right, so that is AUDCHF, Audi New Zealand. Audi New Zealand is giving an entry for upside. Just be careful because it's very close to a structural level. If you get an entry on Audi New Zealand, take it, guys, because this may be going all the way. So every time you get an entry on Audi New Zealand, take it. New Zealand CAD, continuation to the downside. Looks like there's going to be weakness on the New Zealand in the coming session. Another chief pair that is New Zealand chief. Structure is still the same. As you can see, we've got that corrective structure. If you check last week's video or 2 weeks back, This one we got right from the blue box here. Move down, correction, and now we're making a move to the downside. Is this still gonna continue lower? Looks like we're still gonna continue lower on New Zealand CHF. CADCHF, you saw the magic on CADCHF, how we focused it from here, upside and then downside. Is this the end of the move to the downside? As it is now, this is still looking like it's gonna come down. There is no strength for upside here. It may just continue lower like that. Right, so that's all the Forex pairs. Let's look at the indices, S&P 500. Now, S&P 500 for the last couple of weeks, we have been looking for them to make these flat corrections here. I was looking for this to come around this level and drop. It looks like those moves will be invalidated, and the new structure on the S&P 500 is going to be this one here. We're going to look at this one as an impulse. So even if this is going to be a wave 5, so this means that this sharp pullback was actually a wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We didn't get this right. We wanted this one to make a flat. So that means if it's not making a flat, that means this is all the wave 4. We're looking for the wave 4 to be this one here. Okay, so even if this still comes down, that will not necessarily be a wave 4, but rather a correction, an overall correction for the whole move. But the indicator has been showing upside here. We thought it was just going to be one more up and then come down. We're still seeing strength on the S&P 500 as it is. So those moves are not going to play out. So look out for a pullback, and that pullback will just be starting a deeper correction like that in the same degree. That is the S&P 500, the Dow. So the Dow is still pushing up higher. The Dow, we expected it to at least just take this top here and continue lower, but indications are still for this one to continue higher. We're not seeing any signs of reversal or a pullback there. Transportation, Dow Transportation was a trade setup here, but even this one, I thought because we're very close to this level, we're gonna come down, but it's pushing higher, has cleared the highs here. Looks like we're gonna see continuation to the upside until we get a deeper correction. And that deeper corrective structure will result in a continuation move to the upside. The NASDAQ is at all-time highs. It's at all-time highs, so this will keep pushing up higher. There is no sign of reversal as yet. We looked at this one to be making this structure. We looked for this one to make this structure here. Has played out and is now making all-time highs here on the NASDAQ. Right, that is the NASDAQ. Not necessarily trades here. This is just forecast, but it will continue to the upside. UK 100, this one has played out as expected. It looks like it's still going to continue lower. So we expected, this is the move that I expected for the rest of the indices, but it's only played out on the UK 100 and the DAX. So on the UK 100, we had a move down here. We had the flat. We had a move down here. We have a push to the upside. Is that push going to be the reversal? Looks like we're still showing downside here. We're still going to see one more down on the UK 100. So look for more downside on the UK 100. The DAX is showing upside here. It's a little bit tricky, so that upside may be a structure like this. But let's just wait for confirmation, because the move that we'll be looking for on the DAX will actually be this one here. It's supposed to be a C here. A C in the same degree here, C here. We're going to start seeing upside here. Watch out for the DAX. If it breaks out of this structure, we're going to see upside. That is the DAX and Nikkei. Nikkei, we were looking at this structure to play out like this, drop like around this level before pushing higher. Is this ready to continue to the upside? Probably only if this one continues, makes a continuation pattern, and we've got a confirmation from the indicator for upside. And lastly, Nifty. Nifty is still pushing up higher. Still pushing up higher. There's no sign of reversal yet. Some point we will get the deeper correction. We will get a corrective structure that is similar to this in size on the Nifty. As it is now, it's just crawling to the upside until we get confirmation for that pullback. We will look at it. All right, so those are all the pairs that I wanted to look at this week. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell so the next time we upload the video, you get an alert. Have a great week, guys. Thank you for watching. Trade responsibly. Cheers. Bye-bye.